Most of us use Windows the normal way. We click icons, drag files, and right click to make new folders. That's called the Graphical User Interface or GUI. It's simple and visual, but sometimes it's slow. What if you could do the same things faster without using your mouse? That's where PowerShell comes in. PowerShell lets you talk directly to your computer using commands. You can create folders, move files, and even automate everyday tasks, all by typing simple lines of text. And don't worry, in this video, we're only covering the very basics. No scary admin stuff, no complicated code, just safe, simple commands anyone can do. Now the question is, what is exactly is PowerShell? So PowerShell is a command line tool and scripting language from Microsoft. Built into Windows, no installation needed. It lets you talk directly to your computer using commands. Think of it like giving Windows voice commands, but in text form. Question is, why bother learning it? Why bother learning PowerShell? Well, the short answer is it makes you faster, smarter, and more in control of your computer. Instead of clicking through menus, you can do things instantly. And not only that, as you can see on the list, we have automate repetitive tasks, control your computer faster, manage files and folders easily, work with Windows, Azure, and many other tools. It's perfect for beginners who want more control. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with PowerShell, so it's really good that you learn it, and I highly encourage you to do so. But for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to stick with the very basics that we will barely even scratch the surface. But I can assure you, if you're going to be open-minded, it will really help you become a better computer user, or even a better, or you can even become a hacker if you want. Okay, let's open PowerShell together. So to do this, let's press the Windows key and let's type PowerShell. Okay, and let's just click this one. Okay, now you might see tutorials online telling you to run as administrator. Okay, I'll show you how to run as administrator. Okay, we right click and run as administrator, but I highly discourage you to do so, especially when you're a beginner, because here's the truth. You only need administrator mode when you're doing system level tasks like installing software, managing user, or changing protected settings. But as a beginner, it's better to avoid that for now. Everything we will do on this video works perfectly fine without administrator access, and that keeps your system safe. So, okay, so this is the PowerShell. This is how it looks. So actually, if you want to go full screen mode, you can just hit Alt Enter. And if you want to exit the full screen mode, just hit Alt Enter again. Just keep doing that and you will go in and get out of the full screen mode. Okay, let's start with something that is very basic. Let's say, for example, we want to add a new tab. Just click this button and then of course it will create a new tab, just like with the browser, like your Google Chrome or your Firefox. Just close it, click the button. And then for example, I want to check the date. And let's say for example, you want to exit this one. Just hit exit and then it will exit the PowerShell. And then for example, let's do this again. Let's open this one. And let's say for example, I have multiple tabs and I hit exit. It only exit the current tab. But let's say for example, I hit exit and I exit everything. Of course, it will exit everything and you need to call it again. Let's say for example, we want to check the time, or the date rather. You can use this command, get date, then you have the date. Then let's say you want to check the system information. Just type system info and hit enter. Wait for a while it's loading, and then you got your system information. So it has your operating system name, version, and you also have your hardware specifications. A lot of stuff here. You don't need to understand everything right away. It's quite technical, but yeah, at least yeah. And then let's, for example, we will type something that is totally random, something that is not recognizable by PowerShell. Yeah, something like that. So it will throw a command not found exception. So yeah, let's say for example you want to clear the screen and you don't want to like create a new instance or like open a tab. Just type clear. This time we will be creating a folder using or a directory using the PowerShell instead of the traditional one in which we right click new folder. So as you can see on the left side we have the PowerShell, and on the right side we have the directory named demo, in which it will contain the directory that we will be creating for this tutorial. So as you can see, we have the path. So D demo, in this case, it's already existing. The demo folder is this one, and the new folder that will be created is the test folder. If we hit enter, there should be a new folder that will be created here. So let's try this one. Voila, we have now the test folder. Okay, a question. Let's say for example, what if we create a folder that is not yet existing? Let's say for example, right now we have the test folder, right? Let's say for example, I will say test folder 2, which is not yet existing, and then I will put subfolder 1. So what would happen when we hit enter? Does it throw an error, or it will create the two folders? Let's see what happens. Okay, as you can see, it created the new folder. I mean the two folders, the test folder 2 and the subfolder 2, the subfolder. So that's how you create folders and subfolders. So imagine when you're using the traditional way. If you want to create like a nested folder, you have to right click, create the test folder 2, and then you get inside the test folder 2, and right click and you create a new folder and you rename it once again. So as you can see, it's much easier if you do this way. Okay, this time, let's say for example, we want to check the contents of a certain folder or a certain directory. So we were going to use the command get-ChildItem. But before that, I will open up a new tab. So what will happen is that I want to check the contents of the demo directory. So to do that, we do cd or change directory d demo, and we hit enter. As you can see now, we are in the demo folder. Let's say hit clear so that there's no other useless information. Let's say, for example, I want to check what are the directories and subdirectories of this. So I will use get child item, hit enter, and as you can see, of course it only shows the immediate children. It didn't get the it didn't show the subfolders. Let's say you want to check the not just the immediate children but also the child directory. You can do this, and let's add this recurse. It means recursive. As you can see, voila, it shows the subfolder that is inside the demo test folder. Let's say this time I want to create an empty text file inside. Let's say for example, let's say inside the demo folder. So let's say we will name it what do you call this? Let's say myfile.txt. So it's a text file. So we'll type new item. Remember when created a new directory, we use the new item command. So it means it will create a new item. It could be a directory or a file. Let's say, for example, let's create an empty file. Let's say test myfile.txt, and we hit enter. There, you can see that there's an empty file created that is named myfile.txt. Now, how about this time we want to add some values in the text file. Let's say we were not going to remove this one. Let's just create another one. So let's say, for example, I want to put something like this is a test file. Okay, we'll do, okay, we'll change this to something like uh, file file with text.txt, but this time we need to put the command. It's not a command actually, it's a specification. Item type file, let's say value. We're trying to specify what is the item type, and then value. Let's say for example, this is a sample text file, so it should have a file with text.txt file with the content. This is a sample text file. Let's hit enter. Yeah, there. This is the one. As you can see, it has 27 bytes. Let's try to open it with a notepad. Yeah, this is a sample text file. And that's how you create a text file. How about this time we create a text file with content inside this subfolder? Okay, so this is how we do it. Let's go back here. Let's say, for example, let's say new item with text file, text inside subfolder. So what we need to do is we need to specify the path. So in this case, it is inside test folder, test folder 2, subfolder. We need to make sure that we're on the right folder. So let's say, let's hit enter and let's check. Okay, we got this. Let's say open with, let's say, yeah, as you can see, it created a new text file. Okay, how about this time? Let's say we want to rename the test folder into my folder. Okay, how we do it is that we use the rename item command. Okay, let's say for example, the name is test folder. I want to rename it as my folder. So this is the current name and this will be the new name. And let's hit enter. Let's see what happens. Yeah, as you can see, it is being renamed. So that's how you rename a folder. Okay, let's say for files, it is the same thing, but with files, we need to make sure that we have the file extension. Let's say, for example, in this case, by the way, if you don't know what a file extension is, it says what type of file it is. So if you're not sure what file extension, you can just click, right click this one, properties, and there. In this case, it's a .txt. So in this case, we will do a rename. Let's say, for example, I want to rename my file into something like not my file. So we make sure that we include the file extension. So not my file.txt. That's it. I think that would be the very basic ones. And I know when it comes to basics, there are a lot more basic stuff, but let's stick to the very basic for now. So let's say, for example, well, we can do still like move files to one location, but we can do that on the other video. But let's say, for example, we want to understand the command. So what we have covered so far are rename item, new item, and forgot the other one, get child item. So for example, I want to understand what uh, new item is all about. What are the commands that I can do? You can use this command, get help. Let's hit enter. So it's like a manual. So it tells you what the syntax is. For example, yeah, the aliases, the shortcuts. So you can do this one. If you're not like sure, still yet sure, you can use Google for that. So let's say, for example, let's use alias. By the way, let's say I will create a new item. Yeah, so it functions the same. So instead of new item, you can use this one. So that will be all. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned something, even though it's very basic. So I will, I'll try my best to do another one that is more understandable, and it's more feature rich and more a much better video than this one. So thank you guys for checking out this video.